Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I guess I'm one of those elders that Gertrude was talking about, although sometimes I can't believe that I'm 85, but yes, I am. And one of the things that I want to do in life is to change the conversation about aging, because if you believe what you see in the movies and television, at 85, I should be a wrinkled up prune sitting in a rocking chair or a wheelchair in an assisted living or a nursing home without many marbles. My reality is that I have ghostwritten 60 best-selling books, and I'm still at it. And I stopped running my big PR firm when I was 65 and transitioned to ghostwriting. And I'm not the only one. There are many people, not just the Betty Whites and famous people, but many rank and file doctors and lawyers and CEOs and other kinds of shopkeepers, teachers who are still at it, living full out. And I tell a lot of audiences I love giving talks about two things. One is how to become a best-selling author and how to use your book to become a global authority, but also how to live full out at every age. I wrote my own little book. I want to tell you, it's called From 18 to 84 and Counting: One Woman's Blueprint for a Joyous Third Act. I talk about how I ran away from home at 18, went to UC Berkeley, how I became the youngest PR director at Madison Square Garden here in New York. I'm on the Upper West Side of New York now. My year of dating the famous actor Cary Grant, how I became a ghostwriter, my love, absolute love of dogs, and so much more. And I tell people who are younger than me, which is just about everybody, many people, I call them amoebas. And I tell them, your little amoeba eyes are just focused on land. You're not even out of the sea yet. You have your whole life ahead of you, you know? And I feel like I still have a lot of road ahead of me. So I started ghostwriting at 65 when I got tired. I'm Jewish, and I got tired of being everyone's Jewish mother. My 14 employees all had a drama every day. And my big 3-bedroom, 3-bath terraced apartment on the Upper West Side that I had then, since sold it, was sitting empty. And I thought, what can I do, you know, without a whole group around me? And I started ghostwriting, and it's been amazing. So one of the things that I always look for are good stories. because I do have that one gift. I don't have hobbies. That's why I'll never retire, which to me is a dirty word. And I'm always looking for people with good stories. And it's very exciting to me to become that person. I have a concept of how to do it, a program that works beautifully with interviews, and then I can write the book in that person's voice. And I know how to promote it, obviously, since I was a publicist. And I also work with people who are not sure if they have a book in them, but they think they do, and they don't know if their story will resonate with audiences. And I do a 2-hour developmental session, and I explain to them, you know, what book they should write, which, by the way, is often not the book you think you should write. You want the book that encompasses your life lessons and your audiences who will be interested in you. So I started as a writer when I was age 11. I read a book by a French author named Guy de Maupassant. And I said, if somebody can transport me to a little village in France, outside Paris, in words, I want to be able to use words to transport people to other worlds and other ways of thinking. So, I've done memoirs, business books, Romana Clay novels, everything. Yeah, I just love to write. And when I graduated from UC Berkeley, I I thought I'd get my own column on the New York Times. I was that naive because it was, in the 1960s. And they said to me when I went for a job, do you type? And luckily I was smart and I said, no, I don't type. So I wound up at a medical advertising agency. And I was very ballsy. So I stood outside the men's room every day. My only job was pulling out headshots from a file. But I stood outside the men's room and I said to the head chief, Harry Henderson, Harry, I can write. And finally he said, damn it, Judy, here's an assignment. So I was up all night. I wrote this 1-page thing. I handed it to him. I couldn't breathe. 5:00, he calls me into his office and he hands me back my 1-page story. And it has blue pencil all over it, different headline. The first paragraph is the third paragraph, etc. And I started crying. And he said, what's the matter? And I said, I thought I was a writer. And he said, the kindest thing to me. And I try to be kind to other people as well, because he said, you are. And he made me an assistant editor immediately. And that started, I always looked for things to do. I never asked for assignments. I was always proactive. So I started a series about doctors for the medical things that they wrote. And I got a job with McGraw-Hill on Medical World News. And I started a series. That was my next job, because I learned how to write for doctors at the ad agency. And I did a story, Doctor at the Circus. And then I did a story at Madison Square Garden about the Muhammad Ali-Joe Frazier fight. And it was an amazing evening. And I wrote it up. And Irving Mitchell Phelps, who owned the garden then, saw it and said, who is this? So that's how I got into that. And I just kept, I'd stay 3 or 4 years on every job. Never asked for a raise because I would just proactively come up with ideas. I started the readathon for the March of Dimes, and I worked with the National MS Society, and then eventually I started my own PR firm. So, it's been very interesting. And I sold my apartment, and I bought my daughter a bigger apartment than she's in, and I'm moving into her smaller apartment. So it's been a phenomenal experience to get rid of things. I found out that nobody really wants your stuff. Millions of books, can't get rid of them. I gave away, I donated, I sold a few things, But one of the reasons I think we'd like to go into hotel rooms is, your head is clear, you don't have stuff all over. I'm in a rental right now until I can move into her apartment when she moves into her renovated apartment. And we're going to live in the same complex in Lincoln Towers. And I'm more thrilled about it than she is. I had to promise that I would make an appointment. So
Oh,
thank you for listening to me.
Judy, what an incredible life you have had. Absolutely inspiring to see a woman your age
I'm still at it.
still doing it exactly. Now, you call yourself the real 85.
Yeah,
What
that's
does the phrase mean to you, and why was it important to claim it publicly?
because I really, this ageism. There are people who tell me that they want to keep working, but they aged out, or they go for interviews in their 50s. My daughter's 49. Maybe she'll have that problem someday. I want people, just like I don't think we should see color or religion or disability. I met a woman last night at a gala she has a rare form of muscular dystrophy. She's in a wheelchair and she can't use her hands. She has a caregiver feeding her at this gala. She was beautifully dressed, and she is a vice president at one of the biggest financial firms in the country. She does everything with her voice. She can't use her hands. So here's somebody who's not, she's disabled, but she's able. She's more able than disabled, and she writes poetry, and now she wants to do a book. So I mean, people are amazing. People are so damn amazing.
And
That's
it's
I love
interesting.
people.
It's interesting when you see someone like that who should be curled up in a ball,
Yes.
giving life, but they use what they have and not what they don't have. That's where their focus is. So you've lived this extraordinary life as a journalist, an author, a ghostwriter, a speaker. When you look back, what were the defining turning points that shaped who you are today? Where did this attitude come from?
You know, the reason I ran away from home at 18, and I'm not proud of it, but I had wonderful parents. They were very supportive, put me on a pedestal. I was a bright young kid, but they thought my mother was a school teacher. She thought I should be a school teacher. You get your summers off. They wanted me to marry a Jewish doctor or a lawyer. I lived in a very tight little world, and I knew there was something else out there because I read every book in the library. I knew it, but I wasn't in it. This
Yes.
always like I tell people about books, show not tell. So I knew it, but I wasn't living with other kinds of people. I had to, and so I got on a Trailways bus. I had saved $600 from being a camp counselor and stuff over years. And I had a little cardboard suitcase, and I got on a Trailways bus. And in 3 days, I was in California. And it was quite scary, but I think the answer is trust yourself. I don't I listen to people, I take it in, but then I make up my own mind about things. If you don't have confidence, fake it till you make it. Because one short life, that's all we have. I don't know what happens afterwards. Maybe I'll find out. But I'm having a lot of fun, and I really think this is one of the best periods of my life. I've had 3 husbands, multiple boyfriends. Um, I did all that, and now I am very happy to do whatever I want whenever I want. I've got a lot of freedom, and I love
So
my
society often
my friends.
society often portrays aging as decline.
Right.
What moment made you decide to challenge that narrative and redefine it on your own terms?
You know, when I look in the mirror, I do see my grandmother. But what I have done is tell myself, this is how I looked then. I was beautiful, people told me. But I tell myself, Judy, this is who you are now. And I accept her. There was little Judy, and there was, Model S Judy, and then there's this Judy. And this Judy comes
Yes.
with some gifts that little Judy and in between Judy didn't have, which is concepts, insights, wisdom. And I like to share that. So I'm loving this Judy. I can't go back. I mean, maybe I would if it was possible, but it isn't possible. So you have to accept
Yeah.
the realities of life.
Oh, I love it. We've got Quentin chiming in on LinkedIn. He said, I absolutely love that. It is so, so true, Quentin. It's very rare to meet someone with this incredible attitude.
You know,
Now, you said a possession possesses you.
right.
Can you share the story behind that realization and how it transformed your approach to life?
So, I was always buying things. And when I was younger, I didn't think about money. I just bought things because it's really fun. It's like Christmas every day. You're always buying things. Now I see all the Amazon packages coming to everybody. It's like we're all doing that. But I realized that when you have possession, it's not just, I don't have any plants right now. I love plants, but they take care. Okay. And furniture has to be dusted and cleaned. And, all of that stuff, clothing, has to be dry cleaned, has to be taken care of, has to be, you know, everything that you have requires you to parent it, to take care of it. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want less. Less is more. I don't want to go into a closet that's crowded, a drawer that's crowded. Oh my God. When I packed and moved recently, I'm like, I don't even remember where I bought this stuff. Here, take it, please. No, things possess you. I don't want them to own me anymore. It's enough I have to walk my dog 3 times a day. But, I don't want to take care of things anymore.
I
No,
love it because this is when you realize that we collect stuff that actually has no real meaning and value in our lives,
no.
but we keep on hoarding things that I've got several dresses in my wardrobe I haven't worn in the last 2 years. Why is it still there, right?
Sweetheart, I have 4 sizes. I will never get back down to that size, but I remember when I was. So it's sitting there. I'm giving it away. I gave away most of it. I know, no. And
So
jewelry,
true.
pins, and none of it's relevant to my life. And when I'm trying to help people in my talks, and when I interact with people who are younger, my amoebas, um, I just say value experience. Listen to people. Do what I call level 5 listening. See, level 5 listening, let's say level 1 listening is you're not really listening to the other person. You can't wait to say they say something, you go, oh, I know that, or you just want to make points. That's level 1 interrupted listening. Go down and you have level 5 listening, which is when you hear people, you give them your heart and soul, you hear what they don't even say, what they're really saying behind what they're saying. And that kind of loving, attentive, intense listening is what I do with my authors and what I try to do in my everyday life. Yeah. Level 5 listening, people.
I absolutely love it. That is awesome. Now, what inspired your mirror principle? The idea that people reflect back what we project. And how has this changed your relationships and self perception?
Well, no, I came up with this idea. So a lot of younger women, women of every age, who tell me, "Oh, there's no more good men left. They can't find a guy. Online dating so bad." And I say to them, "You can have any man you want." And they say, "How?" And I just say, "The mirror." And when I say the mirror, I'm putting this in the context of dating, but it's true for every relationship. I say,
Yeah.
men in general are insecure, but I mean, so's everybody. We all have an expiration date, so we're all insecure in some way. If you have praise, 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 and one person says a negative thing about you online or whatever, you're like, oh, that's true. I'm a terrible person. That one knows me. It's just the way we are. So if you,
Yeah.
a man, in a sense, you hold up a mirror to his magnificence. And I'm not talking about fake praise. I'm talking about really seeing what this, oh my God, you're amazing.
Mhm.
Did that, and make the person see themselves in a new way. Because a lot of men, even men who are wildly successful, billionaires, nobody says thank you. Nobody even treats them with respect. It sounds like a joke, but it's the truth. Make a man feel good about himself. He'll follow you anywhere, sweetheart. You don't have to be younger. You don't have to be skinnier. Richer. You just have to make that person feel good about yourself. And we all should be with people where we can be fully self expressed, like I am with
Yeah.
you. That's why I love
Uh,
you already, because I can fully self express.
I love it. We've got Janine De Silva chiming in again on LinkedIn saying, I love this. Thank you so much, Judy. You are such an inspiration. Now, you once dated Cary Grant and a 90-year-old billionaire.
Yeah. And
How did those experiences teach
98.
you? What did they teach you about love, confidence, and staying vibrant at any age?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what I love about people I meet who are in their octogenarian or nonagenarian years. I mean, look, there are many people in those age groups who are wrinkled up crab apples, but there are people in their 50s and 60s, even 40s, who have given up on life. They're all wrinkled up and they're like, oh my God. And maybe they have some political things going on that are narrow minded. So
Yeah.
intelligence, wisdom comes with age if you are open to life. And that's what I try to get people to wake up, stop wasting your precious years, you amoebas.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, a lot of people do sleepwalk through life.
They do. They do.
And
Yes.
you show up and you slap them in the face. You're like, come on, what are you doing? Now, many women fear becoming invisible after 50.
Big
What
time.
would you say to women who feel like they've lost their sparkle or purpose?
Hello. Talk to me because you haven't lost anything. It's all your attitude. It's all in your mind. And if you stop worrying about what other people think and you just put yourself out there with joy and spread joy, so that when I have a little dog, and I know every dog that's out there, and they call me the treat lady because I have a lot of treats. The only thing that's wrong with that is now I have a fan club of dogs who will, and some of them are 100 pounds. They're dragging their owner 2 blocks to get to the treat lady. And when I come home from a party or, a night thing somewhere, I have to have treats with me because I can't stand the disappointment on the looks of those dogs' faces. If I don't have a treat and it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, what do you mean? They're looking at you. That breaks my heart because I really love dogs so much. Dogs and cats, but I love dogs.
I
Yeah.
love it. Now, you describe ghostwriting as a form of therapy. How has helping others to tell their stories healed you in your own life?
Well, as I said, I have no hobbies, and I do have a gift for helping people tell their stories in the right way to the right audiences. So that has helped me to keep busy. Um, my late sister-in-law Susan, she was amazing. She could knit, she could sew. She was the CEO of a public company. She unfortunately died 2 years ago of lung cancer, and I miss her every day. But there was a person who had a million hobbies. So out of her retirement, she did gardening. I mean, there's nothing. She could build a house with her own two hands. This is not me. Okay. I write,
Uh,
and that's what I do. And I promote books. But knit, uh, cook. Oh my God, she was a gourmet chef. A gourmet, could make anything. You go into a kitchen, you have a few ingredients. She came up. There are people like that. I do know how to make a good martini. I'll do myself that, but that's about it. Love a good martini.
oh, I So you've spoken about loneliness, the loneliness of modern society,
Yes.
especially amongst older people. How can we rebuild a sense of connection and community across generations?
So one thing that's so great here in New York is they have a next door, a thing called next door. And people sometimes say,
Mhm.
I just moved here, or I'm getting older, I'm lonely, could we get together? You wouldn't believe how many people say, me too, men and women, me too. Why don't we go to a coffee house? So listen, there's so many ways to connect with people. You know, feed the hungry, especially today, uh, help the recently incarcerated, help foster young adults who are getting out of the foster care system. I mean, there's so much to do for people, infants that need someone to just rock them. Um, go to
Um,
a kennel or somewhere and just walk some dogs because they're in cages all day long. Oh my God. There's so much that you
yeah,
could do to help,
I,
and you'll feel good about yourself.
I love that. So, what are the greatest misconceptions that people have about aging, and how do you shatter it every day?
Well, I guess I shatter it by being me because I went to this gala last night, as I told you, and I met some amoebas. I guess they were in their 30s, 40s, 50s. And then I told them I was 85 and what I was still doing. And they're like, oh, you're my role model. Oh my God, can we talk to you? I said, sure, have lunch, come over, we'll have coffee, whatever. I'm always happy
Yes,
to talk to anybody who wants what I have to offer, because people are fascinating. And then some of them become my clients, which is good too. So I'm really
oh, I
looking
love
for great
that.
stories. I'm always looking for stories, and people don't even know. But having a book is like a lot of fun.
So,
Not
can you share a time when you surprised yourself, when you realized you were still capable of something that you thought was too late?
Oh, well, I did a Holocaust memoir with this guy. He had never told his family this whole story. And he came here. He lost his whole family in Auschwitz and elsewhere. And
Oh,
yeah, it was so. I didn't know if I was going to be able to tell his story, but his
mm,
book Angel of the Ghetto did so well, and he came here with $10 in his pocket from Poland as a young man and built $100 million business that's still thriving here in New York and
wow.
globally actually. But yeah, and it became a documentary. So I surprised myself, but you know what? I think that whenever you start a new project at work or in the world, you always have doubts. Can I handle this? Whenever I start
Yes.
anything, I'm like, yeah, can I do? And I do it. You know, and that's what I tell people: just fake until you make it. Say yes, and then do it. If you find that
Yeah.
you can't, get help. You know, I have some younger, of course, writers who are best-selling authors. Sometimes I bring them in to work with me on a project, and I tell my clients, of course, you know, you're going to get two for the price of one, and they're always happy. I don't. It's not a secret, you know. But it takes a team to do anything. Yeah,
Yeah, that is so
I
true.
surprise
And I,
myself.
I guess, like me, your concept of failure is not having tried. I think if I don't try something, that's failure. Living with the regret of, oh, if only I had, that
Right.
is failure for me.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I would,
Go
mm,
ahead, sweetheart. No, I agree with you 100%. Not trying, you know, but I mean, there's some
that's,
things I'm not interested in. Okay, I'm not interested in learning how to cook. I'll be honest. I make reservations. I, I'm not, and I envy, it's chemistry, and I envy
yeah,
anybody who can whip up something delicious, but you have to be interested. I'm very, I do have an occasional personal trainer who's really good, and I try to work out a little bit, but I'm not doing marathons, climbing mountains. But I'm in awe of people, you know, who jump off cliffs. I think they're crazy, but I'm really in awe of people who go, you know, go to extremes, use their bodies well, things I can't do. So I'm very humble about what I can do because it's one little trick
yeah.
thing that I can do, and other people can do much more. Yeah.
So, what is your secret for maintaining energy, optimism, and creativity at 85?
You know, I don't push myself. Like sometimes I'll watch a Netflix movie in the middle of the day. Sometimes I get up at 3 in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and start writing. I mean, I just kind of take it the way it feels. I don't have a rigid schedule. That works for me. It may not work for everybody, but I don't like routine. And that's why I like working for myself. I am my boss, and I'm the only one who could fire me.
So, how has your humor helped you navigate life's toughest seasons?
Oh my gosh, you know what? If you can't laugh, it's all over. Right now, there's really some pretty challenging things happening. And I just tell myself, you know what? I don't laugh about it, but I realize that if you look at the earth, and then and I go to the museum sometimes, they show this thing, the planet, and Earth looks so big when you're on it, and then it goes up, and then you see the Milky Way, the universe. Our planet isn't even a drop, and then we are little ants. So you know, we share genes with gorillas. You know, we're an animal. So I just tell myself, you know what? There are good animals and bad animals, and hang out with the good animals, and have, have some fun. You know, don't take it all
Oh,
so seriously.
obviously, yeah, yeah, that's the problem. Okay, my last two questions are a bit of a thought experiment. In the first one, I'm going to teleport you back to the younger you. If you could go back and give the younger Judy three nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those three nuggets of wisdom be?
Um, So, you know, save more money because I didn't take money seriously. I mean, I'm lucky that I have enough, but I just think a lot of people wind up at an older age with not enough money to be comfortable. So I think you need to start thinking about that earlier. And I wasn't brought up that way and I didn't know that. Another nugget was don't care so much about what other people think, what they think of you. Think of, love yourself. You be kind to yourself. And the third is, I don't know. I just think look at life as a game, play the game, enjoy it. You know, have some distance from the drama. That's it.
Oh, I like that last one. Life is a game.
Yes.
Wow. Last question is futuristic. This time I'm going to teleport you into the future, and we are going to go and meet the 100-year-old you, or 105 or 110, because with your energy, I can see you going for a long time.
Really?
If we could go meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point,
Okay.
what will you say to her when you finally meet her? And I'll tell you why I ask women this question, Judy.
Sure.
A lot of women don't realize that the wise woman is already in us, that
Yes.
she is that quiet voice that whispers, that guides us, go left, go right, say yes, say no. But a lot of times we overthink things, we don't hear her, we look outside of ourselves for solutions. You have tapped into that 100-year-old you at a very young age.
Yeah.
What will you say to her when you finally meet her?
Well, I think if I was 100 or 105, I'll be honest, I think I probably would be toothless and probably forget what I had to eat the day before and all of that. But I think that I would still love to meet new people. I probably would still say, I think you have a book in you. And I would still ask them to tell me their story so I could write their book, even if that was no longer something I could do. So, I'm very optimistic about living, as long as I possibly can.
Oh, I love that. I have a game that I play when I get stuck sometimes. I play with the energy of who I am becoming,
Oh,
because I have met her. I have met my 100-year-old me. And when I get really stuck, I go into my meditation and my prayers, and
right.
I go to sleep with a question in my head as simple as, so what is the next step?
Mhm.
And I sleep on it. And I wake up in the morning, I'm in the shower, and I have those light bulb moments, and I know exactly what my next step should be. Or I talk about what I'm working on with other people. And it's like a jigsaw puzzle. This person will give me this piece and the next piece. By the end of the day, the end of the week, it all kind of comes together. So, playing with the energy of who you are becoming, we are born with everything we need to live full and fulfilled lives. And I really have to thank you, Judy, for being an example of what is possible. I was so excited when I saw you respond to my query for this interview. We need to see what is possible, how to live a full life, and you are a personification of that. So, thank you.
May I offer your audience a free consultation? No obligation.
Please
Anybody
do.
who thinks they might have a book in them and they want to explore it can call me, email me, and call me. And I'll give you a half an hour and I will tell you what book you should write.
Fantastic. We still have people chiming in. We have Janine has been listening all the time. She said, I
Oh,
agree. You're an incredible role model. Needed to hear your advice today. Oh, thank you. She says she's feeling re energized and ready to go back out there and embrace another chapter. Ah,
good, good. I hope everybody.
cleaning out the closet and getting rid of all the stuff. Just like you said, the stuff weighs us down, right?
Less is more. Less is more.
This is more. Thank you so much. Wow. Judy, thank you. I have your website scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If anybody out there feels you have a story in you,
So
or
my
you don't
email,
even know if you have a story, grab this free consultation. Judy will guide you and show you what's there.
it's jkatzcreative@gmail.com.
Fantastic.
wants to talk to me. This has been so much fun. Thank you for having me on.
It's an absolute pleasure. And
You're
thank you to everybody who tuned in. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you have a story in you, remember, the richest places in the world are graveyards. They are full of people who had incredible stories and they didn't have the courage to put it on a piece of paper. I brought you a resource
okay.
today.
Wow.
Go onto this website. Do not go to your grave with your story. I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Judy, don't go away. I still need to talk to you. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.
That was wonderful.